Good morning. Having a little trouble with the laptop today, so trying it on the phone. Hopefully you can see me just as well on the phone today. I'll wait just a couple minutes maybe and then get started with some chair Pilates and stretching. So, welcome to Chair Pilates and Stretching. For anybody who watched last week, thanks. This week should take some of what we did then and build on it just a little bit. For anybody who's streaming for the first time or maybe going back through later and watching these videos, welcome. I'll go back through my little spiel on Pilates and how to do this for your body and what your body needs. Certainly it is interesting for everyone to be doing it this way instead of face-to-face, myself as well. So I'm going to try to pace myself in a way that people can keep up and not kind of breeze through. But please go at your own pace, do what your body needs. If something doesn't feel right, let it go. Pilates in general is really about being slow and controlled. And so things might kind of look like they don't take a lot of effort, but it's really about the effort that you put into them. Keeping your muscles engaged, keeping your abdominals supported, and really taking the time to feel into the range of movement where your body is going. So being mindful about what your body is doing. Your core is always engaged, and it is difficult for me to show that, but you really are going to kind of think about this gentle scooping inward and upward of your abdominals, almost as if somebody were going to touch your belly button and you really didn't want them to, so you were just kind of pulling it away in and up just a little bit to keep you supported. It's also, your core includes your hips and your pelvis, and so there is engagement deeply through this whole area of your body. But it's not about holding up here your abdominals so tight that you're limiting your breath. You want to make sure you're keeping with full deep breaths because breathing is necessary, but also helps us relax and keeps the tension from creeping in. So with that, we'll get started. Oh, one last thing. You might notice that I switched from sitting forward to sitting facing the side, just so that you can see me better. But you don't need to do all of that flip-flopping. It's just to try to give you some good angles on what I'm doing. So to start, I am going to turn to the side. And again, we're going to start sitting with good alignment. Some chairs have, they're a little bit tilted, and it has a tendency to help us roll back into the chair, and we really don't want to do that. So it might even be helpful to sit just a little forward in your chair if it does that. Thinking about sitting on your sits bones, the bottom of your pelvis, and the backs of your thighs, 2 feet firmly planted on the floor, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed away from the ears. Imagining that there was a string or something lifting you up through the crown of your head to keep you sitting tall and floating without kind of tensing up to sit tall. And from here, just taking 3 deep abdominal breaths. See if on your next exhale you can feel that core engage. Inhaling in. Exhaling to deepen the engagement in the core. You can continue breathing. That's one of the lovely things about Pilates is we have to breathe, and every exhale is an opportunity to re-engage our core, to check in on the fact that we took a deep breath, but we're still keeping ourselves supported. So 1 or 2 more deep breaths that way, just feeling that process. Take a deep breath in, exhaling, letting that deepen the engagement in the core, things pulling in and up. 1 more. And exhale. From here, we're going to do a half roll down. So you can either place your hands on your knees or near the backs of your thighs. You're going to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to let that contraction start to tilt your pelvis a little bit under and round through your spine. Now it's not sinking forward in the head and shoulders, but really imagining that your whole spine, we're going to curve around a very large beach ball, which I happen to have in front of me, but you can imagine one. So taking a deep breath in, as you exhale, let that contraction tilt your pelvis, round your spine, but not crunch your neck, and inhaling yourself right back to sitting tall. You can take this curve as deeply as you want. We're going to do it 10 times. Exhaling, curve. Inhale to sit tall. Exhaling, curve. Every time the movement comes with your breath, and is initiated through the core. So you move because your core engages. Deeply. You can probably go a little deeper than I'm able to, maybe not. But if you feel like you can curve a little further, feel free. Last one. And sitting tall. From here, we're just going to do head and shoulder rolls to keep getting ourselves warm. And so you're going to drop your chin toward your chest. Let the weight of your head stretch out the back of your neck. If you want to give it a little extra pressure, you can add the weight of your hands, but don't pull. Just let your neck relax into this stretch. And slowly starting a circle towards one side, ear towards your shoulder, head up towards the ceiling, circling around. Take another circle in the same direction. And the next time your chin reaches your chest, reverse directions. Slow circle around. The next time your chin reaches your chest, you can bring your head back to neutral, back to center. Rolling the shoulders out, up and back. Feeling your shoulder blades, your scapula moving up and down the spine like an elevator. Working out any of that tension in there that I'm sure we're all holding right now with a little extra stress in our lives. Keep taking deep breaths. And reverse directions. Shoulders come up and forward. One more circle. We're going to go back and do 10 more of those half roll downs that we just did. So taking a deep breath in, exhaling, contracting through the abdominals and letting that pull our pelvis slightly rotated backwards, taking a deep curve, and inhaling, sitting up. Sitting up also happens through the abdominals. So exhaling to curve, deepen that crunch. Inhaling comes from deep in the lungs and righting the pelvis. So the rest of your spine is along for the ride. And it really is this deep core that is controlling these movements for you. Keep thinking of that belly button coming in and up, or that the muscles along your spine are kind of squeezing and massaging your spine as you go, lifting you taller. 2 more. Rolling back and sitting tall. 1 more. And So we are going to move on to arms and start to get into some of the exercising and the strengthening aspect of this. I'm going to add a few more arm exercises in today, but we'll try to rotate between arms and arms and legs so that one part of your body doesn't get worn out and that you have a moment of rest. Rest and recuperation are very important. So we're going to start just with arm raises and lowers. I really want you to feel that you're sending energy all the way through your arms, out your fingertips, that they are fully engaged, and that your shoulders remain down and away from your ears. And you're going to bring your shoulders or your arms up and back until they're in line with your ears, maybe slightly behind if you've got good range of motion. And then as if you were pressing down against resistance, pressing down and back behind you. Just as far as your range of motion lets you go. So slow and controlled up, and slow and controlled back. Keep going, that's 2. I'm going to go sideways so that you can see. Slow and controlled up, and slow and controlled back. This is 4. Keep going, inhaling as you lift the arms, not letting your ribs kind of pop in front of you. That's 5. So keep going. But as you lift your arms, be careful not to let your ribs splay and your whole chest open, but that you stay in alignment. You're keeping your spine supported with those abdominals. Inhaling up, pressing down and back. That's 6. We're going for 10. Inhaling up and exhaling down, press it back. 7. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Keeping those abdominals engaged, keeping those ribs closed, and down. You should feel your lower core working just in doing this. Keeping your spine in alignment. Last one, 10. From here, take a deep breath in. Arms reach up. You're going to anchor your hips into the chair, so don't let them tilt side to side, which actually I'm on a cushion. That's throwing me off a little bit already. But you're going to take a lean as if you're leaning over a giant yoga ball or a beach ball. So you're going to keep the ribs open and the arms long and anchor that hip. The minute you start to feel this hip lift off the chair, don't go any further. Press it back down. And up. Inhaling as we go over. Exhaling to initiate that core engaging to bring us back up. Inhaling over. Exhaling back up. Inhaling over. Exhaling back up. Keep going. Inhaling over. Exhaling up. Inhaling over. Exhaling up. Keep that reach going through your arms. Inhaling over. Exhaling up. Check that your feet are still connected to the floor. One more each side. Inhaling over. Exhaling up. Inhaling over. Exhaling up. And arms down. Shake them out if you need to. Roll the shoulders out if you need to. If you're already feeling them like I am, give them a little break. We're going to do 2 more arm exercises, then we'll shift into legs just before they really tucker out on us. So we are going to take our arms up again. Take a deep breath in, reach up. Pull them down until they're at right angles so that your elbow is in line with your shoulder. And you're going to bring your whole arm forward and trying to touch your elbow all the way through the palms of your hands. You may not be able to get your elbows all the way together, but that's what you're working for. And inhale, open them up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, open. Again, on every exhale, deepening that core support, thinking about your belly button, scooping in and up towards your spine. And open. Imagining maybe that even you have a little support belt that is made out of your abdominals, keeping your back in alignment, keeping your abdomen tucked in, keeping you feeling supported. And exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, open. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, open. Reaching up to bring the arms down. One last arm exercise. We're going to inhale the arms back up. From here, turn your palms to face the front, and I want you to imagine that you are painting the backs of your arms down the wall behind you until your elbows do come lower than your shoulders this time. The trick is, and I'll turn sideways again, that you do want to try to keep these in line with your ears, your shoulders, the midline of your body right over your hips, and not let them sneak to the front, which is still going to make your arms work, but in a different way. But by pulling it back and imagining that we're pressing our arms back against the wall behind us, it's also engaging all of these good muscles back here. So pull it down and up. Again, being careful to keep your ribs closed and not to let your chest kind of puff out or your lower back lean forward. And up. Take a break anytime you need to and rejoin when you're ready. I know it's very hard to tell, but every exhale is that chance to re-engage your abdominals. Every inhale, another chance to kind of release any tension that doesn't need to be there to make this work for you. Exhale down. And drop the arms. Whew. Shake them out. We're going to move on to legs for a minute, and then we'll come back and do a few more arms and go back and do legs. We'll kind of switch back and forth so that we get both halves of the body without making them so tired we can't work them anymore. So the next thing we're going to do is a thigh lift, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It is the simple movement of the thigh lifting up in towards your stomach. I have very little room for that. I'm going to try to make some room for that. But again, it happens because you exhale, because your abdominals engage. That imagery of them kind of scooping in and up from the low place helps just let your thigh lift off the floor and come back down. Certainly you can take it higher than I can. I physically can't get it there. But if you feel that your thigh just floats right up and it keeps going, that's great. Good for you. But if this is as far as you can go, that's also fine. If you start to feel that there's some pinching in here, I would say take a moment, stretch it out if you need to, and come back to it really thinking about it happening because the abdominals are working and not because you're kind of muscling your thigh and making it come up from the hip by using the pelvis. So we're going to do a set of 10. So right, left equals 1. Or for you, it might be right, left, depending on how you're seeing me. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, up. And inhale. Exhale up and inhale. Exhaling it up. This is 2. I'm going to scoot a little further forward so I have a little more room to lift my thigh. So again, using that exhale to encourage your abdominals to engage, just to give room for that thigh to float right up. We're going to add to this in a little bit. Checking in with your posture, that because you're lifting your thigh, you're not letting yourself roll back to give yourself the room you need. It's fine if this is as far as your thigh comes off the floor. It's as far as mine goes. But I'm still thinking about keeping myself sitting tall, my shoulders relaxed. I'll admit I've lost count. I was talking. So we'll do one more each side and move on. And coming back. All right. So we are going to, same thing, exhale, bring the thigh up, extend the knee out, and we're going to do 10 circles towards the outside and 10 tiny circles towards the inside. Now these are tiny, and in some ways the smaller and quicker they are, the more difficult they are, because what we're really paying attention to, almost more than the circles, are our hips and our stabilizing leg. We want this leg to be so calm and solid, and our pelvis and our core to be so engaged that we can isolate the movement in this leg without too much wobble happening through our pelvis or our knee. So your knee on your stabilizing leg is a good indicator. If it's wobbling all over the place, chances are that deep core that really sits in your pelvis and around your hips isn't as strong or engaged as we might like. So you can slow down your circles, maybe even make them a little bigger, which actually lets you help stabilize a little more than doing small and quick, which is a little harder to fight against. So we'll do right leg and left leg and take a break. And then we'll come back and do right leg and left leg again. So take a deep breath. Exhaling the leg up, extending it out. 10 small circles to the outside. Pardon my dirty shoe. 9, 10, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't let this knee move. 9, 10, and put it down. Take a deep breath. Exhaling this leg in and up, and extend it out. And circles, to the outside. 2, 3. Don't let this move. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And down. Deep breath. Take a break for a stretch. Extend this leg out. If this throws you off, or if you feel unstable going with one leg extended, you certainly can leave both feet on the floor. But if you feel stable enough, extend one leg, one heel out. Same arm as leg, reaches high, and you're going to bring your chest towards your knee. Thinking about leading from the chest and the top of the head over towards that leg. Just reaching. Letting your shoulders now round to reach towards the toe. And rolling it back up. Other leg. Arm reaches high. Thinking about leading with the chest to reach the chest towards the knee or the shin. Top of the head long. Staying as long as you can, as far as you can go. And once you've been there for a breath or two, going ahead and letting the shoulders release, the head relax, the arm reach towards the toe. And rolling it back up. We're going to go back and do our leg circles one more time. If you need a break and you would rather do another set of the stretches we just did, please do. Listen to your body, listen to what you need. I want you to make sure that you still feel like you can walk around later and stand up without being too sore. So take a deep breath in. Exhaling, thigh up. Extend the leg out. If your leg needs to be down here to do these circles, that's fine. It does not have to be straight out. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to keep this thigh stable. 6, 7, 8, 9. Reverse. breath in. Exhaling. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stabilizing in the opposite knee. It helps to think about your glutes engaging. The idea of squeezing all of those muscles together around your sacrum and your tailbone. And down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to do that same stretch one more time. Letting the heel go out. Same arm as leg goes up. Leaning forward as if you were going to lay your chest on your thigh, going as far as you're comfortable. Take another deep breath here. Exhaling, rounding the shoulders and the head over, reaching for the toe. And rolling it up. Other leg out. Same arm as leg reaches up. Reaching chest towards the thigh, staying long in the spine. Take another deep breath here. Rounding over, reaching towards that toe. And rolling it back up. We're going to jump back to arms now. And then we'll jump back to legs. So we're going to take the same concept that we did in our legs, and this week we're going to add them to our arms. So you're going to take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, press your arms out towards the side, palms up, fingers up, palms flexed. And we're going to do 10 small circles to the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Reverse directions to the back. Thinking about keeping your belly button scooping in and up, your core supported, so that again, you're not kind of wobbling or shimmying with all of your arm circles. And take a deep breath in, reach up. Arms down. Again, deep breath in, reach up. Arms out, extended. This time I want you to think about turning your fingers to the downward. So back towards the wall behind you and rotate them downward as far as they go. Now take 10 circles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reach in and up. Exhale. Last time. Inhale up. Exhale, press the palms out and down. This time you're going to rotate your fingers towards the front of the room so that your fingers are facing the same way as your eyes, your knees, your toes, and 10 circles each direction this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Using your abdominals to keep your torso stable and calm and still. 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reach in and up. Exhale, bring them down. From here, we're going to inhale our arms in front of us, reaching long, turning the palms down. You're going to cross one over top of the other, and then switch. And then, as if you were pushing someone away from you, you're going to press back and open. As far as your shoulders are comfortable going, again, without kind of opening the chest and splaying the ribs forward, or letting go of the support in the lumbar spine. So we're just keeping the movement to our arms and our shoulders. We're going to go cross, cross, press. Cross, cross, press. Cross, cross. Slow and controlled is the name of the game. It makes it harder. Actually speeding through these things make them easier. So taking our time with them is going to keep them nice and controlled and help us feel the muscle groups that are working. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. Shake those arms out. We are going to give our arms kind of a loosening up stretch. while still moving. So we're going to do a shoulder roll to the back. Then we're going to take our elbows around in a circle to the back, and then gently take our arms around in a circle to the back. Now up until now, I've been telling you to really keep them engaged and keep some tension and feel the muscles working. This is for the opposite. This is to help you feel everything loosen up. So it can be a little less loose, or a little more loose, a little less engaged, just to help everything loosen back up again. So shoulder roll back, elbows to the back, arms to the back, and reverse it. So arms come forward, elbows come forward, shoulders come forward. And again, shoulders go back, elbows go back, arms go back, arms come forward, elbows come forward. Last time. Keep it breathing. And arms come forward, elbows come forward, shoulders come forward. We're going to take a few more stretches sitting today, and then we'll move into some more modifiable work and some more standing. So from here, I want you to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, drop your chin to your chest and let your spine roll down until you're laying over your thighs, one vertebrae at a time. I cannot go as far. I'm going to look like I'm laying over a pillow, but I will still turn sideways so that you can see hopefully what I mean. So take a deep breath in. Exhale. Think about letting one vertebrae in your spine at a time release until you are laying on your thighs. I'm going to open my knees a little wider to give myself a little room. I'm cheating, but you do not need to do that. From here, as far as you are able to go over, you're going to reach one hand. Let's start with the right, towards your right toe, or the outside of your right foot, or the inside of your right foot. It depends on your comfort level. I'm going to go to the inside of my right foot. My left arm is going to twist and rotate me up towards the ceiling. I'm going to look up at that hand. I'm also going to think about anchoring this left hip and not letting it pull up out of the chair with me, so that it's just a rotation in the spine, and bringing it back down. And then we'll go the other way. Left hand's going to reach towards the floor, right hand going to reach up towards the ceiling, anchoring that hip down, not letting it come up out of the chair with you. And release. Stay there. We're going to do it again. I'm just turning back towards you. Right hand anchors. Left hand extends up. And exhale down. Left hand reaches towards the floor. Right hand reaches towards the ceiling. Look up at that right hand. Exhale back down. Slowly roll your spine up one vertebrae at a time, as if you were going to stack one piece of your spine on top of the other. And sitting tall. To help us stretch out our shoulders, I want you, if you're able, if you have the kind of chair that you can reach for the back of the chair and get a good grip on it, you're going to reach for the back of the chair and simply lean forward into it so that it's helping you stretch through the front of your shoulders and your arms here. If you can't, simply reach backwards as if you could grab the back of your chair and let that stretch happen on its own. If you can grab the chair, go ahead and do so. Two more deep breaths here. Softening in the arms, sitting tall, letting them fall down. One more stretch, and then we're going to move into some more modifiable abdominal work. So you're going to press your palms down into the sides of the chair. Mine's a little narrow, so I'm going to do my best. And you want your hands to be either in alignment with your hips or slightly behind. And you are going to very intentionally lift your sternum towards the ceiling, creating a high arch in your spine, looking up towards the ceiling. If you want to walk your hand back one step further, you realize you've got a little further you can go, you can do that. Keeping your head supported, not letting it fall backwards, but just gazing upwards. And bringing the spine back to neutral. Okay. I'm actually going to do a time check, but since I'm on my phone today, I have to step that way to do it, so don't go anywhere. Perfect. Take a breath, get a drink of water if you need one, if you have one handy. We're going to go into some more deep abdominal work. Now this is where it gets harder for me to show what you should be doing because you can't really see the movement in my spine or in my abdomen as well. So I will do my best to talk you through it, and hopefully some of my words connect with what you're feeling in your body. If at any point things start to feel too tense or too uncomfortable, or something is twinging in a way that doesn't feel like you're working muscles but rather aggravating them, come out of whatever we're doing, take a moment, take a breath, take a drink of water. Just take a few deep breaths where you can exhale and feel your abdominals engaged, and use that to help reconnect to your core before you would move back into anything else. So from here, we're going to go back to that half roll down that we practiced. That's taking a deep breath in, exhaling, and letting that exhale curve, tilt our pelvis, curve our lower spine, but not collapse up top. And from here, we're going to do thigh in, legs and arms extended, thigh comes back in, and bring it down. Now today we're going to stay in this curved position, abs engaged. So if you were on the floor, it would be like staying in a small crunch for the duration of the exercise. That idea of things are kind of consistently, constantly scooped and lifted and engaged. This is the equivalent of staying in a crunch while you do these leg and arm exercises. I'm going to shift to the side again so that you can see them a little better. Hopefully. Try it this way. So we are going to take a deep breath in, exhale, let that bring us into our half roll down. If you want to add a little bit of lean back, you can, but only so far as you feel that your abdominals are able to support you and stay engaged. You're going to bring a thigh in, extend it out, bring it back in and down. Stay here, check that you're engaged. Abdominals lifting in and up, scooping in as if you don't want somebody to touch your belly button. Thigh comes in, out, in, and down. A good rule of thumb for where your gaze is looking just past your knees or your toes on an angle towards the floor so that your chin isn't crunching, but you're not breaking this rounded protective curve that we have going on in the spine. We're also going to connect this with breath. So exhale, inhale, exhale, and down. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and down. Exhale. If your breathing patterns are a little different than mine, if you want to go a little more slowly, that's perfectly fine. Follow your breath, what you need. One more each side. And going to do a modified saw. A saw is the traditional Pilates mat move. Normally, I would, if I had you with me, if I had you in the room, I would have set you up with a second chair. If you just happen to have a second chair around, or an ottoman, or a very cozy dog that isn't going to move, that you want to put your feet up on, feel free, so that you can be sitting with legs extended. Otherwise, we're just going to either plant our feet flat on the floor because this is where you feel stable, or we're going to extend both legs out, being mindful that, again, it doesn't let us tilt our pelvis forward and our tailbone stick out. If you feel like you want to modify just to do one at a time to keep yourself more stable, that's also a pretty safe bet. And I think that's what I'm going to do, just to make sure that I'm not kind of being pulled forward by some of my extra weight. So that's the lower half. I'm going to explain the top half a little bit. We're going to take both arms out in front of us. You're going to open one arm towards the back, and you're going to let that rotate your chest in the direction of that arm. From here, it's called a saw because it's a sawing motion, so S-A-W, saw. And rather than tilting down towards your toes, you're going to imagine that somebody is taking your fingertips and is pulling them. They're going to pull you forward along this horizontal line and shifting it back. And then you bring that arm back around. Then we will open the other direction. Open, shifting us forward along that horizontal, shifting us back, and closed. Now, again, if we had our feet in front of us, up on a chair or a pedestal or whatever you might like, you're actually going to be aiming for your fingers going to the outside of your toes. So as if you were going to saw off your pinky toe. But chances are you're going to have your feet like mine, flat on the ground, one leg out in front of you. And so we're just going to think about in our twist and our shift, if you can hear me, I'll do it this way, that we are reaching past the outside of our foot to help us deepen that twist and coming back up and closed. So you'll see me switching out a foot for each side. But again, if you want to keep both feet planted, please do. We're going to go for a set of 10. So, excuse me. Right and left counting as 1. It might be, for time, maybe we'll do 8. We'll do a set of 8. So from here, I'm going to open to my right first. I'm going to put my right foot out. Open, shift, coming back, and closed. Open, shift, coming back, close. That's 1. Inhale, exhale, inhale, together. Inhale, exhale, inhale, together. 3. Inhaling, checking in with your abdominals that you're still keeping yourself supported. That belly button is scooping in and up towards your spine. Inhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, close. This is 6. Inhaling, scooping in the spine. And close. Inhale, exhale, deepen that engagement into your abdominals. Last set. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Close. Take a deep breath. Shake it out. Let your arms and your legs come loose. We're going to do a couple of seated stretches. Oh, someone said hello. Hi. We're going to do a couple of seated stretches, and then we're going to do our last little bit standing, if you're able, working on some balance and a few more stretches standing. Deep breath. From here, we are going to scoop our knee up. If this is as far as you're able to go, just scooping your knee, that's enough. Think about the weight of your leg kind of pulling your leg, your trochanter, your thigh bone, back into the hip socket and let it hang there. If you can, cross your ankle over on the other knee. We're going to do a little figure 4 stretch. Let this leg fall open. If you want to give it some gentle pressure at the thigh, you can, or not. And if you want to take a deep breath and lean forward into it, again, as if you were going to lay your chest over top. So not curving forward, but just leaning gently, deepening that stretch. Take a couple of good breaths here. And bringing yourself back up to neutral. Scooping up your knee, cradling it in, and letting it come down. Other knee, scooping it in and up, letting the weight of your leg pull your leg back into your hip socket. If you're able, crossing it over at the knee. If you'd like to give a little pressure, you can, or not. And taking a deep breath. If you'd like to lean forward into it to deepen that stretch, go ahead. Taking a few deep breaths here. And bringing your spine back to neutral, scooping that knee in and up, and letting it come back down. All right. I'm going to do a quick time check again. Get a drink of water, take another deep breath. Perfect, we have 10 minutes. Oh, someone else said hello. Hi. So we're going to stand if you're able. If not, I will talk you through a few things you can do in the chair as well. Most of these things you can do in the chair, a couple of things you can't. But if you're able to stand, go ahead and stand. I'm probably going to stand behind my chair this way just so you can see most of what I'm doing. But situate yourself as you're comfortable. Feel free to use your chair for balance as much as you need. And we're going to take a moment here standing to try to feel that same alignment that we felt when sitting. So that your tailbone, as if it had a weight hanging from it, is dropping straight towards the floor. Your spine is long, your abdominals, your core is scooping in and up to support your spine. Your ribs are relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed, your head is floating up as if someone were just kind of gently giving a little lift. And take a deep breath here. We're just going to do some toe heel rocks. It helps with our balance. It also helps with your calves. So you can go as far up onto your toes as you are comfortable. It might just be a shift forward, or it might be really coming up onto your toes. And that's up to you. We're going to do toe rocks back to heel rocks. Now, heel rocks are a place that a lot of people find that they lose their balance. So if the heel rocks make you uncomfortable or unstable and you want to just do some toe and calf raises, that's fine, do that. If you're sitting, you can do the same. You can still practice pressing through the foot on the floor and lifting the toes off the floor. It'll give your calves the same workout and your ankles the same workout for sure, with a little less test of balance. So let's do that. Up and back, 2. Keep breathing naturally. 4, 5. Trying to make sure that your whole body is coming with you as a unit and not that your pelvis is sort of swaying back and forth. It's actually easier said than done on those heel rocks. Just a few more. Last one. Right away, take one step behind you. Now this is a stretch, so take it gentle. You're going to soften that front knee and shift your pelvis forward as if it were riding along a track. So it's not about taking this deep lunge or leaning forward, but really about shifting the whole body forward so that you can get this stretch in the calf and the back, sending that back heel towards the ground. If you need to deepen the lunge to get a better stretch, you're welcome to. You might also be feeling it through the front of your hip. Soften both knees to bring your feet back together, and we'll do the other leg. Take a step back, bending that front knee and shifting the whole pelvis forward horizontally. Deepening the lunge if you need to. Take another deep breath here. And softening the knees to come back to neutral. So today we are going to do 2 more standing exercises before we really finish. There we go. Sorry, somebody was calling me. Hi guys, hello everyone who said hello. Thank you. We are going to, I'll move this way, simply do some leg raises to the side and to the back. It's going to help get these outsides of our glutes, gluteus medius, gluteus major. Feel that a little bit. But it also is a balance exercise if you're standing. Now if you're sitting, you can similarly still practice, if you're able, doing some of these raises either by turning sideways in your chair and letting this leg hang down, and you can work on sending it back and extending it, or doing just gentle side lifts. Otherwise, we're going to stand and do it. So take a stand behind my chair. We're going to do 10 each side. I'm going to move it slightly off so you can see me. Keeping everything stable, core engaged, deep breath in. This leg is only going to float up a few inches off the floor. You want to make sure that your toes and your knee are still pointing towards the front of the room, the same direction as your other foot, so the whole leg is moving in one unit. It does not need to go very high. In fact, if you are keeping your toes towards the front, it won't be able to, because your anatomy is going to stop you. If your foot is floating more than a few inches off the ground, chances are you're letting that knee rotate out. Don't do that. It works something different. It's beautiful in a ballet class, which I love, but it's not what we're doing here. So a few more raises to the side. And then we'll switch feet, or I will switch where my chair is. So keeping that toe and knee in alignment towards the front, small lifts. 3, 4, 6. I don't know about you, but I feel it. 8, 9, 10. Similar idea to the back. We're going to extend our foot back behind us until our toe is on the floor, but from here, you can either flex the foot or let the foot be loose. And we're going to do small lifts, just little lifts to the back. Now, in this position, it's really easy to let that lumbar spine go, especially the way I look. I look like my whole belly is pulling me forward, and it is a little bit. But you want to try really hard to keep that core engaged and keep yourself supported so that it is just the leg doing a little tiny lift, 2. So either point or flex based on your preference. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switch it out. Toe to the back. 1, 2. Don't let your lower back go. I know I am a little bit. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And bring it back down. Right away from here, you're going to walk your feet away from your chair into a flat back as far as you're comfortable. If you have a bad lower back and you don't want to go all the way flat, that's fine. But if you're comfortable going to a complete flat back, please do. That said, be mindful that you're keeping a right angle and that you're keeping your core engaged. This is not about letting your spine go. And also, you want to make sure that you're not pulling back past your feet. See how my pelvis is past my feet here? It puts a lot of undue strain on my knees and my hamstrings. So we want to make sure that our feet and our hips are in alignment and that our core is still supporting our lower back. And take a few deep breaths here. Also, don't lock into your knees, which I have a bad habit of doing. If you feel like your knees are being jammed backwards, soften them a little bit. Maybe do a little wiggle of them, that you know that they're soft. And walk yourself back in. All right. One last stretch. We're going to do a quad stretch. If you're capable while you're standing, you can simply hold on to the chair, lift your foot behind you. Either reach for the foot might be good enough, or if you can kind of get it, you want to make sure that you keep your knees together, that this leg isn't allowed to float out and away. And that you are thinking about, same as in our lunge, pressing your hip back forward so that it's not taking your lumbar, your lower back, off kilter, but it's just about stretching the muscles through the quad. Another way to do it, if it makes it easier, is to put your knee in the chair. It gives you a little support, and then you can either reach for it or get it, but use the chair to give you a little extra. You may have to stand off to the side. A little extra support if you don't feel so stable. You can also do it sitting. In the same way, you take yourself off to the side of the chair a little bit. Bend that knee on the ground. You can either reach for it, or if you're able, pick it up and let it hang. That's actually a little harder than standing. But letting that knee drop, that toe behind you, reaching for that leg. It's all a quad stretch. So if you've been holding it this whole time, good for you. I'm going to stretch this quad out just a little more. And swap it out. So again, keeping the knees together, keeping your hip bone pressing forward and not your lower back. So this actually lets part of my hip pull back, my tailbone release. I want to keep my tailbone where it is and thinking about keeping my whole pelvis even. Take a deep breath. And letting it go. To finish, we'll come back to sitting. We're just going to take a few deep breaths. Follow along. It'll be simple. Take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale. Arms come down. Head rolls down. Take a curve in the spine. Inhale, come back to neutral. Another time. Inhale, reach up. Press the palms together with a little bit of resistance, so there's actually some tension there. Pull them down. Inhale. Open the thumbs towards the back of the room. Exhale. Wrap your arms. Reach for your shoulder blades like they're handles that you could hold on to. Take a deep breath here. Take your fingers, clasp them together, pull your chest and your hands away from each other so you're getting a nice round spine up top. Inhale, sit up. And clasp your arms behind you, sending the sternum and your eyes towards the ceiling while you're sending your hands towards the floor. Back to neutral. One more deep breath in, reach up. Grab the palms, pull them down. Send the arms open. Send the arms closed. Send the hands forward, chest away. Inhale to sit up. Send the chest towards the ceiling. Hands towards the floor. And then come back to sitting. Take a moment to feel the way that your abs have worked for you today, that everything has worked for you today. And just take a few more deep breaths here. Letting your shoulders fall down. Letting go of any tension that doesn't need to be there to keep you sitting upright. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Thanks everybody who said hello, who checked in. I hope this was a nice workout and also that you've worked through some things and you've shed some things and you're a little more relaxed to go about your day. Thanks so much.